I'm Sneha Sharkar from Group 8 and I'm the narrator of this skit. The topic of our skit is journalism versus propaganda. First, we'll talk about the two terms in our topic, journalism and propaganda. In a vast democracy like India, media plays a vital role in the society. The word journalism is taken from the word journal, which in turn comes from the Latin word diurnal or daily. According to the majority of researchers, journalism means the collection and editing of material of current interest for presentation, publication, or broadcast. In other words, journalism means communication of information to the public by any media, be it a newspaper, radio, TV, or the internet. On the other hand, propaganda is a form of persuasion that is often used in media to further some sort of agenda, such as a personal, political, or business agenda, like increasing the television rating point, popularly known as TRP, and getting good advertisements and sponsors, by evoking an emotional or obligeable response from the audience. It is information which is misleading and biased. In this skit, we will see how these two terms differ from one another. So let's get started.
आज अपने देश की बहस का जो मुद्दा तय किया है वो है रक्षाबंधन पर पेटा का हिंदू फोबिया। जैसे ही कोई हिंदू त्योहार की तारीख नजदीक आती है, हिंदू फोबिया गैंग के नए एजेंडे भी सामने आ जाते हैं। बकरीद त्योहार करीब आते ही मस्जिदों में फिर से सामूहिक नमाज पढ़ने की मांग जोर पकड़ने लगी है।
योगी सरकार ने ईद के लिए किसी भी तरह की रियायत देने से इनकार कर दिया है और ये कहा कि ये आपकी खाला की सरकार नहीं है।
लेकिन कुछ लोग हैं जो सामूहिक नमाज और कुर्बानी पर अड़े हुए हैं।
बकरी ईद को लेकर सियासी अखाड़े में कुश्ती शुरू हो गई।
कोरोना वायरस का कहर बरकरार है और ऐसे में बच्चों में कोविड से जुड़ी अलग अलग तरह की बीमारी देखने को मिल रही है। बिहार से ये खबर आ रही है कि जो ठेके पर अस्पताल में जो स्वास्थ्य कर्मी हैं, उन्हें 2 महीने से सैलरी नहीं मिला है।
कोविड के मरीजों का अस्पताल में इलाज इंटर्न कर रहे हैं, जूनियर कर रहे हैं और पीजी के छात्र कर रहे हैं। 4 महीने बाद स्वास्थ्य विभाग को यह आदेश देना पड़ रहा है कि कोविड के मरीजों का इलाज सीनियर डॉक्टर करें। पूर्णिया में कोविड-19 का मरीज स्ट्रेचर पर पड़ा है, उसके आसपास लोगों की भीड़ है। ये भीड़ कोविड अस्पताल में कोरोना की जांच कराने आई है।
और अब जो कोविड-19 के नए केस बिहार में आ रहे हैं, वो गांवों से आ रहे हैं।
बिहार में कोरोना से लड़ने की तैयारी का हालत यह है कि हर दिन मरीजों के परिजन वीडियो बनाकर वायरल कर रहे हैं। कोई लाइन में खड़ा गिरकर मर जाता है, तो किसी को ऑक्सीजन का सिलेंडर नहीं मिलता, तो किसी के लिए अस्पताल में जगह ही नहीं।
कांग्रेस बनाम कांग्रेस की टेंशन, लेकिन राहुल का लाइट कैमरा और एक्शन।
पीएम मोदी की छवि को धूमिल करके ही राहुल गांधी बनाएंगे अपनी छवि।
राहुल गांधी को ना तो भारत सरकार पर यकीन है, ना ही अपनी सेना पर, ना ही दुनिया पर।
आज राहुल गांधी ने कैलेंडर खोलकर मोदी सरकार पर खुला वार किया।
तो फिर बीजेपी ने पलटवार किया, कांग्रेस ने हर महीने का ब्यौरा जारी कर दिया।
कैलेंडर पर बवंडर।
3 करोड़ रोजगार समाप्त हो गए। क्या ये छोटी खबर है? अगस्त तक 1.5 करोड़ और रोजगार समाप्त हो जाएंगे। क्या ये छोटी खबर है? 4 से 5 करोड़ लोगों पर बेरोजगारी टूटने वाली हो और शहर में सन्नाटा हो, ये ठीक नहीं।
अब ये साफ हो गया है कि बॉलीवुड में एक लॉबी है जो सवाल पूछने वालों को बर्बाद करने की धमकी देती है। ये बॉलीवुड नहीं है, ये लॉबीवुड है, लॉबी की वुड।
बॉलीवुड के सितारों की शोहरत के सहारे पाकिस्तान और उसकी एजेंसी आईएसआई ने भारत के खिलाफ जो कुचक्र तैयार किया है, उसका नेटवर्क टूटने लगा है।
The first topic for today is the farm laws. During farmer protest against the 3 farm laws, some journalists had shown the bilateral reporting, while some were busy in calling farmers terrorists just to prove them wrong.
Narendra Modi on Friday, 19 November, said that the government has decided to repeal all 3 farm laws. Addressing the nation, PM Modi announced that the laws will be repealed in the upcoming winter session of the parliament. He said the 3 farm laws were for the farmers' benefit, but the government couldn't convince a section of farmers despite best efforts. Farmers, largely from the northern states of Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, have been protesting in Delhi for over 10 months against the 3 contentious farm laws that were passed last year. Meanwhile, Samyukt Kisan Morcha has welcomed the decision of reappealing the 3 farm laws and said that they will wait for the announcement to take effect through due parliamentary procedures. Bharatiya Kisan Union leader Rakesh Tikait said the union will wait for the day when the farm laws will be scrapped in parliament. He said the government should talk about other issues of farmers too, besides MSP.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today's Sunday debate is on toolkit plot. This week we exposed the toolkit plot when the members of our team found the pendant with the Greta Thunberg's ridiculous tweet was a toolkit, which gave the whole story away, that how behind the so-called farmer protest there was a global political corporate nexus that was working.
Several months later.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. From the lobby to the Tukre Tukre gang, from Khalistan to the Canadian medley, the fight for farmers is being hijacked. I want to tell you, there is a foreign hand involved in keeping the mayhem alive in the country. They are putting hundreds of crores into trying to destabilize India.
Many months later.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today, Mr. X shows how much he cares about our Annadatas. The decision to withdraw farm laws is a masterstroke. Despite his personal involvement and attachment to the reforms, he put the nation first.
The second topic for today is drugs. Drugs are effective in destroying lives of many, especially teenagers, making their parents lose their sleep. It is an ongoing problem around the world, and while some journalists actually reflect on what is happening all around using their words, others are high on the drugs without even consuming it. And to convey this propaganda, they found a medium called Bollywood. Let's take a look.
20,000 crore worth of cocaine was caught on Mundra port. But we all know how much importance these media houses gave to major news break. Because the more important news for them is the 6-gram charas that NCB caught on a cruise ship cause a Bollywood superstar's son was involved in that case. The media houses only want TRP, and for that they'll show you anything. And not just media houses are responsible for the mess that they have created. The public which are consuming this stuff are also responsible cause they like watching media trials. And let me just clear this out that what happened with Riya will happen with Aryan and will happen with anyone else who will get caught in a future drugs case.
Hello and welcome. The Heartthrob of Nation is back with another sensational news on your favorite show. Today we are not here to discuss about some less important issues like women's safety, child labor, bad health infrastructure, price hike, unemployment, so on and so forth. Friends, we are here to discuss about the issue that the nation wants to know, which is how many people from Bollywood were involved in that drug case.
Today, our headline is Drugs Ka Janjal, Bollywood Mange Maar. I'm saying it very openly, friends. These people pretend like they are big movie stars, but the reality is they are India's biggest traders. Yes, they are Pakistan level traders. Their only job is to spread Pakistan's agenda in this country. Our sources has confirmed that these people receive drugs directly from the drug cartel in Dubai. We have their lead WhatsApp messages, which clearly shows how these people are having link with some word-proclaimed drug cartels and underworlds. Opposition party is blaming the central government for this issue. But let me tell you something. Central government is the best thing this country could ever have. Central government is working day and night to improve the condition of this country. India has gone from here to here under its administration. So the only point I want to clear is central government has nothing to do with this issue. It is clean. Now the time has come to unmask these lobbies in Bollywood. They have done very little for this nation. All their money goes and parked outside this country. Many star kids are accused for taking drugs. What message are they trying to convey to the society? I don't know. At last, I just want to say, don't do drugs. It's very costly. Thank you so much. I'll meet you same time, next time at prime time.
Our next topic is GDP. Gross domestic product is the total monetary or market value of all the finished goods and services produced within a country's borders in a specific time period. India has a GDP of 3.050 trillion USD and it represents 2.32% of the world economy. Let's see what the journalists have to say about this.
Today we'll talk about GDP, how it fell the lowest since our independence and what could be the reasons behind this. So the data we received show that the GDP for this fiscal year's first quarter is down by 24% if we compare it to the GDP of the previous year. Now what's happening is the media houses, the IT cell of the ruling party are spreading the propaganda-filled messages in which they show that the GDP of the developed countries like US, UK, Canada, Singapore is way more than our GDP, like for 33% for US, 43% for Canada and 31% for Singapore. But let me just clear this out that the way using which they calculate the GDP is way different than our way of calculating GDP. If we calculate our GDP using the same method, the GDP for India will be down by 65%, which is about double by what US GDP has fallen. And you might think this is due to the pandemic and the lockdown. But let me just tell you that the GDP for the whole fiscal year is down by 7.3%, which is the lowest since our independence and is a result of the continuous falling of GDP of our nation. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's start with the today's topic GDP. During the lockdown, global powers has suffered double digit, multi digit, 20%, 30%, and even 40% slump in GDP figures immediate after post lockdown. Countries like America have seen 33% fall in GDP, here Canada GDP is fallen by 39%, Singapore by 41%. Yes, it's a global reality. We have recorded a 23% GDP fall in India, but that's almost half of the Singapore. Yes, it's very much in line and little below the global trend. So, what has been going on with this political spin masters since yesterday saying our economy is in free fall state? No, it's not. Injustices have remained sad, the world has remained indoors, global economy has been in the state of paralysis. India has seen a 23% fall in GDP, which is in line with the global trend as compared to the other countries like UK, Canada, United States, Singapore, and Japan in GDP figures. Across the political spectrum in India, there are some extreme reactions. Let's look some of them. Sitaram Yechuri blames some crazy demonetization, badly implemented GST, and sudden lockdown. Rahul Gandhi tweeted, GDP of minus 23%, destruction of country's economy begins with the demonetization and our worst ever performance since independence. Are these leaders blind to the global economic reality? Even a kid can understand how well our country is surviving in these pandemic days as compared to the other global countries. But these opposition leaders can't, who are just trying to spread negativity among us in such a difficult times.
ATM पर 100 रुपए प्राप्त हुए. Our last topic is the coronavirus pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic is still ravaging the world, but it was all very uncertain and unclear in the beginning of the year 2020. Journalists and the media were our only source of information. When the government was failing in execution of its plan during the second wave of COVID, some so-called journalists played the biased card to protect the administration by giving us wrong facts.
Coming up with another news. India reported 2.59 lakhs of new COVID-19 cases and 4,209 deaths in the last 24 hours. With this, the country's overall COVID caseload rose to 2.6 crore. Oxygen tanks and other essential supplies are running low, and corridors and medical facilities are overflowing with patients. Many have had to be turned away. In some areas, oxygen has had to be administered to the patient on the street. There are also reports of dead bodies being left outside the wards as more bodies fill up. Worrying reports of vaccine shortage in the country are coming up. At least 6 states have informed the Indian government of the vaccine shortages. India's Serum Institute, which is the world's biggest vaccine manufacturer, has also told the government of the resources it needs to boost the vaccine production, which is estimated to be roughly around Rs 3,000 crores. This process is estimated to take roughly around 3 months.
Hello and welcome. The Heartthrob of Nation is back with another sensational news on your favorite show. Today we're gonna talk about positivity. We have to ignore negativity around us in order to move forward in life. I want to tell my viewers that things are not looking as bad as they were a few days back. But just because of the opposition party, the COVID case in India is gaining peak. Opposition party is blaming central government for this issue, just because they had conducted a rally few days back in Bengal. But let me tell you something. Conducting a rally was not at all an election agenda. It was government's way of saying, no matter what happens, we are here on road for you. How dare these people blaming the central government? Just because of central government, there is no shortage of COVID specialized beds. They are available in every hospital. There is no shortage of oxygen cylinders and COVID vaccines. But still, some people are there complaining that government is not working for the nation. The reality is, these people do not deserve a fantastic governance like this. At last, I just want to ask only one thing. Does the government at center, does Mahendra Modi have to do an Agni Pariksha each and every day, twice a day, in order to prove that he is working for every single Indian?
So, it's all upon us on what we believe and what we do.
topic or merely fact-based journalism is becoming rarer day by day, losing its race in both TRP and fame. Majority of journalism has become a propaganda which thrives more on showing baseless news on public interest for TRP. News shows concerning public figures and celebrities have become a priority over all other news. Just because people are more entertained by such news, it increases the viewership, gaining them more TRP. It should be us who decide what to watch and what not to, because all these media outlets survive on public's interest. We can see that the loudest voice out there isn't providing us with the facts, proving that a loud voice and excessive debate isn't always correct. Thank you.